Hello and welcome everyone for our very first episode of Harmony at Home, where we share experiences, smart tips, and healthy routines that would make your life easier, healthier, and more harmonious when working from home. Magandang umaga to all of our viewers who have joined us on our Facebook page as well as on Kumu. My name is Yona Lucy Casigno and I am the founder of EVS Academy and Gaia Services. You may be wondering what we mean by harmony at home. So wanted to quickly explain it to you. So harmony in music is the sound of two or more notes heard simultaneously. Now in life, harmony is living peacefully with the people and things around us despite whatever personal situation we are in. And there is emotional harmony. This is the idea that people are able to experience rest and inner peace despite whatever circumstances that come their way. And here at Harmony at Home, our goal is to give you tips, ideas, and share life experiences so we can attain harmony at home so that we can actually create a space for us where within ourselves, the people around us and our home, creating a space that is conducive to working from home. Now, our first guest for this segment is a certified Konmari consultant at World of Yorokobi. I'm so excited to learn more about how she helps spark joy in people's homes through her work. I'd like you all to give a warm welcome to our guest, Renelyn-Tan Castillejos.
Hello, good morning, Yona, and good morning to all of your viewers.
Hello, Ren. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be with you, especially we're talking about the topic that's close to my heart, how to bring harmony at home. And in my work as a Konmari consultant, I see that the home is really the most important part of everyone's lives now. So
exactly. Well, I'm so excited that you're here. But, I have a few questions up my sleeve. But before I get started, let's play a quick game.
Okay.
I forgot to tell you. Yeah. So this particular game is called Guess This Filipino Game. Okay, so the way it will work is that I'm going to name a few attributes of this particular Filipino game. It's a traditional one, and you'll have to guess which one I'm talking about. And I'm just Are you ready?
Ready or not, here I come.
Exactly. Okay, let's start. So guess the Filipino game. So this is one of the most popular Filipino outdoor games that is played on a rectangular grid drawn on the ground, subdivided into 4 to 6 equal parts. 2 teams are needed with 2 or 6 players, with one team as runners and the other ones are taggers. Can you guess which game I'm talking about, Ren?
Is that Pico?
Pico? Is that another name for something else?
That's what we called it when I was younger. Maybe you call it differently.
Is it the same as patintero?
Huh? Patintero? Oh no! Maybe
Are they two different
the wrong.
Oh my God, wrong one.
You know, patintero, you do that. You use your.
I forgot to mention that bit. I'm sorry. I was.
Yes, I think you're right. See, I don't play a lot of outdoor.
Okay. Well, it has been some time, right? It has been some time. So it's okay. But thank you for playing with me.
Our viewers want to answer. They want to save me.
They're like, no, that's not the one. That's not the one. Well, anyway, I wanted to share. So for everybody who's interested to know, patintero comes from Spanish word tinte, which means tint or ink, which refers to the drawn lines. Now, the object of the game is for runners to cross the rectangle back and forth without getting tagged. And the taggers can only move within their lines with one tagger assigned to cross cross the line. So it's a fun game. I know. I remember playing it a couple of times when I was little. But again, it has been some time for both of us. So you are forgiven. It's okay, Ren.
Yes, now I realize it's patented.
Yeah, right. Because when you said pico, I was like, I don't even know that game. I don't think I've ever heard it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, well, thank you for playing the game with me. Now, I've obviously been able to get to know you over the past few months as we're both certified sacred space holders. So shout out to Kimmy for bringing us together. But I know also that you're a wonderful person and you're a wife and a certified Konmari consultant. So can you share with us, what is it that you do in the world of Yorokobi as a certified Konmari consultant, and what made you decide to pursue this? But if you could also share with us what Yorokobi means as well.
Okay, so I am a certified Konmari consultant. So that essentially means that I help people tidy their homes using a very specific method that was started by Marie Kondo. She's a Japanese organizing consultant. And what makes it unique is the only thing to consider when you're trying to declutter or tidy your home is you ask yourself what sparks joy for you. And in simple terms, what makes you happy? And if it's something that makes you smile, makes you more productive, then that item can still be in your home. And so I started becoming a Konmari. I became certified in 2019, but I studied and started my journey in 2018. And at that time, I was really just very excited to share how the method changed my life and how it also improved my personal and professional relationships. And so I said, just by fixing your home, you can actually have a second chance in whatever it is, whatever your stage in your life is. And so I said, I really wanted to share this with so many people, starting with my own family and friends. And then I learned that there's only just a few of us. So just imagine, Yona, there's so many homes in the world. Yes. And not every home, unfortunately, I think not every home right now is being able to appreciate not just their surroundings, but sometimes the people in their homes, if there's no joy, if there's no inner spark in that. And so it's very good for me to know that there's this practical tip that they can use in their homes. It's a step-by-step process, the KonMari method. And with that, they can really be happier. And so I started World of Yorokobi. Yorokobi is the Japanese word for joy, and that's my own local brand here. And I'm happily supporting so many people tidy up their homes. And when the pandemic happened last year, I also was able to help people how to spark joy, not just in their homes anymore, but now there's a lot of people working from home. So there's also that spark joy in wherever your work from home space is.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I absolutely love the journey that you've been on. That is absolutely fascinating because some people don't realize the deep connection between how the physical space actually impacts our own personal space or, within ourselves. So that is amazing. And I love that I'm going to be able to, and the viewers as well, will be able to learn more about this. So what was it exactly like that really inspired you? There's so many things around in the world where you can go, I can be this consultant, or I could work in line with this particular tidying or decluttering. But what was your inspiration for becoming a KonMari consultant?
So for me, the journey was very, very personal because growing up, I was so used to having a home where there's a lot of things, there are a lot of extras, and we're a big family. So my mom really made sure that we had everything we needed. And so I thought that was normal to have a lot of extras in the house. And so that also meant, since our home wasn't very big, but we're an 8-person household, so my parents and the 6 of us siblings. So sometimes I would find that we would adjust to the spaces that we had. And so that was me growing up. But then when I got married, so we moved into a condominium, and my husband is the total opposite of mine. He just really wants the basics, and he also enjoys having space. And so what the beginning years of our married life, it was really adjustment time for me. And so I was trying to ask myself, why is it that I feel like, in spite of everything that I'm doing, there's still something missing? Because maybe that's the part where, in terms of our physical spaces, we weren't complementing at the beginning. But then I did a lot of research. I tried to see what can I do. And then one day I saw Marie Kondo's book again from my library. I bought it in 2014, but I guess it was in 2018 that the book was shouting to me internally, saying, read me, use me. And I just really, for 3 straight hours, I Konmari their bedroom. And I guess my motivation at that time was I really just wanted to try something that hopefully will allow me to clear my mind. And that process, those 3 hour process, was very, very emotional for me internally, because I realized that I was holding on to a lot of things in my bedroom, in my home, that wasn't working anymore for me in that particular life stage. And so being able to let go, being able to say thank you to the items, also gave me a clearer mind. And I guess that was the most powerful turning point in me, when I experienced that once you clear your home of physical clutter, there's this certain magic that happens internally as well, that the internal clutter that I was experiencing somehow also became better, became more organized. And because of that, I was able to dream for myself again. I wasn't scared to start something new. I was able to support my husband better. And so that's why I feel that for anyone who just gives themselves the time to just start tidying their spaces, just giving themselves that spark joy space they deserve, I guess the magic is going to be their own journeys, and it's going to be powerful.
Wow, that is just, it's so fascinating. It truly fascinates me to think that the deep, like, it's so connected. I mean, if we really think about it, it is the space that we are in all the time. And especially now more than ever, we don't really leave the house as much as we previously did. And so when you think about it, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, if you look around you and it feels like a mess, or if it's, really cluttered, it does, like, when you were talking, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, it does impact, because even just your small desk, right, that could also impact. It's like, I find that it's so I just find it so amazing, because I think people don't realize how connected that whole thing is, and I guess the importance of tidying things up. When did you realize that was like, there was a real great impact on personal and professional life, being the importance of it?
And so when I started tidying up, the great thing about tidying is there's a difference between cleaning and tidying up. Cleaning is something that we really need to do on a daily basis so that we're healthy, we're sanitized. But when you say tidying up, it's actually asking yourself whether or not you are surrounded by items that you value and that support you. So it's as if you are tidying up a particular space so that in the long run, you'll be able to have a better way of a better routine maybe in your home. You have better time with the family members, or if you're working and you're living alone, you have a good grasp of how do you use the spaces that you have at home. And so in that particular case, I think that's what's really helpful for tidying. When you realize now that once you decide to tidy and you see that you've arranged your books, your clothes, your other items, what follows now is you're more mindful when it comes to, okay, what will I do today? How can I be more efficient? How can I be better? And you're actually having that space as your friend now. And you're not looking at your space as a factor for you to clean every day or to tidy up, because everything now has a space. Everything has a parking space. Everything also flows better now because you've removed the clutter that you haven't used. And so I guess this is how you are able to transform your home from a blank space, maybe to a storage room, into something that inspires you, into something that helps and supports you in your career. Or if you're a full-time homemaker, it's something that allows you to be the best mom or the best sister or the best homemaker that you can be. And so like right now, the photo that they just flashed, I have with me some of my favorite things there. And before, because I was such a collector growing up, so I when I say collector, like for example, I have 50 notebooks, 60 notebooks. And
Oh, wow.
because I moved into a smaller condominium, like I didn't have a lot of space anymore, I had to ask myself, even if I didn't want to ask myself those questions, I had to ask myself, okay, if I keep 60 notebooks at once, what will be the things that will suffer? What can't I now have because I'm keeping 60 notebooks? And so it's a matter of prioritizing. Like for me, that's what I love about the Konmari method. As a Konmari consultant, I really cannot tell my clients, I can't tell them, okay, this is not okay anymore, you throw this away. Because the Konmari method is a very respectful process when it comes to the owner of the home. And so what I can only do is raise the level of awareness of my clients, ask them, why do they need 60 notebooks right now? If they want 60 notebooks, are they willing to let go of that space that maybe something else can be used? And so in my case, those internal questions, from 60 notebooks, I now am down to 8 notebooks. And so, but that process isn't just, okay, I'll throw it away or I'll give it away so that I have less. I ask myself, what will I do with 52 others? Will I donate it? Will I sell it? And is it really okay for me to have less? Because if I don't answer that question properly, what I don't want to happen is the next time I see another set of notebooks, I'll buy it. And so that's what I love about the Konmari method. It allowed me also to improve my habits, my shopping habits, and also asking myself, what do I need right now in my life? So my simple motto is every single item I now bring into the home has to be valuable to me, has to add something that can make me a better me. So that's my factor to consider right now.
Okay, interesting. Okay, because that is, I mean, when you were speaking, I was, admittedly, I was thinking, oh my goodness, my notebooks. I was like, oh, I've got so many notebooks myself. So I'm like guilty as charged. But, but that's the thing, right? I think, we have that tendency of we see pretty things or what sometimes some people call shiny objects. And some people also say, oh, it's cheap anyway, or it's a good price. Like, let's just buy it. Let's get rather than like, how we only need one, but because it's on sale, we'll buy like more, and then it ends up taking up all of this space. And so we really just have to, keep it at the front of mind. Is it valuable? If we allow it to enter in our home, and will it actually allow me to, I guess, live my purpose, I suppose. Like, I know that's like, it might seem like a deep question to some viewers, but I feel like that's the connection, because it's really allowing us to create a space where it enables us to live our purpose, to be able to create like, oh, I'm having a great moment here now, like just thinking about it, just on what you said. I'm just like, wow, that's so amazing. Oh, thank you. I knew I would be learning so much from you, Ren. And again, thank you for joining. But
I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned, like, for example, what do you do? Do you buy on sale, or do you buy it when you actually need it? Last year, what I've observed is the buying patterns of a lot of families and a lot of my clients really changed, because if at the beginning we would only talk about, okay, what do you need? But then because people didn't want to go out anymore, they really bought in bulk. Correct. So if that's the case, you also have to be very compassionate to yourself. So if, for example, you only just buy maybe goods for 1 week or 2 weeks before, but then now you are buying for a month so that you don't go out as often, that would mean that you might need to do some rearranging when it comes to your storage, when it comes to the area of your home. But keep in mind that the most important, as always, is how does this purchase serve you? So, of course, if you need to buy in bulk for a temporary time, then that's okay. But also make sure that the habits you built when you were buying every week will also be very similar when it comes to, okay, now that I have to buy in bulk, I have to make sure that I put space into it. I find space wherever that is, so that the cluttered area before will not be an excuse for you to have clutter just because you're buying in bulk.
Yeah. And I think because it becomes a habit as well, right? That we end up buying more or buy in bulk or buy on sale. And then there's that space that it's taken up. So, for example, I know last year people were buying a lot of toilet paper for some reason. And, there's like all of that space that it takes up. And then they realize, there's like a blank space on that wall. But some people feel like they have to fill it up because it seems strange empty. Isn't that right? Like and then so we have to ask ourselves, do we actually really need to fill up that space? Does that space is actually quite helpful to us because it's clear? It's
I love that question. Because space to me, every time I have a tidying project, and sometimes when we would fix everything, and then there's space, my client would sometimes ask, so Ren, there's space, can I buy something now? And I tell them, space, once you have it, enjoy it. Because you having that space is actually also, it's like being relaxed or being in a meditation space where you are able to enjoy something out of nothing. And when the time comes that there's really something special that you want or that you see that inspires you, then at least you have space to put it in. The problem is if you see space and then you keep your automatic reaction is, I need to fill it up with something now. But what if you don't need that something yet? What if right now everything in your life is with you? And so I guess that will also allow you to appreciate more what you have by not being scared to have space. Because when the time comes that you will need to use that space, at least you're ready.
Oh my gosh. Everything that you've just said, it's so parallel to different aspects of our life, right? I feel like I can see space in terms of our schedule. So a lot of people now, their schedules they've got back-to-back meetings, or there's a big block of like, I need to do this and then I need to do this. But when there's space, you're right. We get to enjoy other things that we need to, perhaps like the tasks that we like doing.
I love that. Right? I love that you use that, especially for a lot of our viewers who may be working from home. And sometimes people equate productivity with making sure they don't have any rest time. But I think experiencing the past years has really allowed me to focus on the importance of my me time. And so if, for example, you're working from home and you have this as maybe virtual assistants or whatever your career is online, and then you find that there's that space, then you can use that. You can enjoy that. You can do nothing.
You can read. Like you can read that book that's been sitting on your shelf for some time and actually use that. Or even just, like you said, that compassion or even self-care. Like you can sit down and have a drink, like have a nice tea or a coffee or whatever it is that you enjoy. But just having that space for yourself because you've intentionally not created yourself to be back to back. I just love it. I love it. There are so many, I could keep talking about all of these things with you because it is so parallel. It's parallel with so many aspects of our life. And I just absolutely love it. Well, in terms of like you mentioned with the pandemic, like how are you able to cope and continue being a Konmari consultant despite the pandemic, especially now that businesses and consumers have moved online? Like how are you able to get around that?
So at the beginning, I really asked myself, what will happen to me now, especially when no one can go out? And even if, for example, you can go out, no one would accept you in their homes, right? Because everyone is scared and just really protecting themselves. So what I did, I realized at that time, it was March 16 when the ECQ happened here in Manila. And so I asked myself, do I stop or do I keep on finding ways to continue doing my purpose? Because the easier answer to my question then was, okay, no one's going out, no one's accepting people in homes, so maybe I'll stop. But I guess my bigger motivation then was, now is the time that my clients and people all over need my support, because I know my simple message is spark joy in your homes. And now, I guess when I say now, that time in March and the whole of last year was really the time when the spark of joy is badly needed in everyone's
Correct.
homes.
Yes.
So even if I didn't know much about technology, I really am very scared of technology all the time. I don't know why, but I learned about Zoom from one of the organizations that my husband was part of. I tried my best to understand it. I got a subscription, and at that time, I didn't have any audience yet. I just knew that I had a very important message that I wanted to share to the rest of the world. So I had that platform, I had my message, I did it. And I guess I talked to a lot of my friends who had businesses, SMEs, and even companies who might just want to benefit from this. So I did that. I gave my free workshops at the beginning. And I guess it's really, every time I say that, I give myself a pat on the back, because I said, when no one was thinking how to do this, I was like, just doing this for myself, because I wanted my message to come across. And so now I've turned virtual when it comes to, I now have virtual tidying sessions that I do. And I also have workshops that I give to different companies, corporations, and individuals. And I guess to anyone who's watching, I'm sure that you all have your journey when it comes to how you've transitioned online. But to me, what really kept me going was knowing that there is a special place for my message in this world, and I want to be able to reach as many homes as I can. So that spark of joy won't disappear, even if our conditions right now of working, our conditions of being at home are very, very different.
Yes, no, definitely. And I know for you personally, it is a mission for you to be able to do that through like homes around the world, not just where you're based, but everywhere. So be it in the Philippines, Australia, or anywhere around the world. I know that is something that you hold deeply and close to your heart. And, you know, we're so excited, and we hope that we'll be able, like, we're excited to see the journey that you'll be on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's so amazing, because I know and I can see in your eyes and the way you speak how passionate you are about what you do. And I just love how, you know, I think what you said in terms of people really needing joy, like in 2020, I honestly feel like they still do. Like I really do. I feel like, because, you know, as you know, things aren't quite back to normal, like to the previous, how it was, you know, pre-2020. And so I think now more than ever, you know, to anybody who is watching right now, if there's some discomfort, or, you know, you can see around your home that it's, you know, you're needing some advice, or, you know, reach out to Ren, like reach out to her, ask her some questions, because you deserve to live in a space where it's conducive to a happy home, a happy life, and a happy career, right? It's just, yeah, I just think, you know, we should all give ourselves that gift to be able to have a place where we can actually enjoy, right? No matter what.
I'd like to thank you for helping me reach my goal of reaching people in Australia. I know you're in Australia, so
this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning.
I've always shared this dream. I guess when I was younger, the reason why I took up political science was I wanted to be a diplomat, but that didn't happen. Like I was able to work at the United Nations with my NGO work, but then with my married life, I decided to stay here. But I guess I'm still doing that. And there's so much possibilities with Konmari, with online, that I can reach homes all over the world. And that really
Yes, and let's claim it. That is going to happen. And you are going to be coming to people's homes here in Australia. I just know it. Now for you personally, how do you achieve like a harmonious relationship with the things around you and people around you, especially with your husband, family, and just, you know, your clients?
For me, what has really helped me is asking the questions that matter. And when I talk about that, it's not like, for example, let me start with my husband. So before when I started my married life, I wasn't sure how best I can support my husband. And when I started to ask the questions that mattered when it came to our relationship, that's when the relationship that we had became deeper. And that's also, and when I say, for example, the questions that matter, it can start as simple as, okay, what will we buy? What kind of table will we get? And it might seem simple, but I realized that if we didn't talk about what we both wanted, sometimes there would be problems at the end. But then if we knew that we were entering that decision to purchase something big together, at least that helps things. And so, on the other hand, when I say asking the questions that matter, it's also the same with how I do it with my clients. Because when I enter a home, it's really a privilege for me to enter. I'm a stranger at the beginning, but then slowly I ask them the questions that matter to them, and they realize that their home has always been there for them. But sometimes maybe it's because they're so busy with work, they're so busy with responsibilities with their family that they forget about themselves. And so asking them the questions that matter, like, why do you still want this? Why do you still want to hold on to this? Is this really important? Do you still want to have a library that's really filled with books, only with your kids' books and nothing of yours? And so those are the things, to me, I think that that's one of my gifts, being able to ask questions that matter in order for them to remember that at the forefront of their home is them making the decision. And when they're able to make the decision, when they know what makes them happy, it's inevitable that they know what they want to happen in their homes. They'll take care of it better, and the relationships inside those homes will really flourish.
Oh, I love that. It's you touched on so many key points there. And I think with anything harmonious, communication is key, right? I think that was one of the things that was one of the first things you said, because it is true, whether it's at home with our own families or even through our work, whether it's virtually or in an office. One of the important aspects is to ensure that we create an open communication so that there's no uncertainty, there's no, lost in translation, or there's no crossed lines. And I think that's absolutely amazing how, through this journey, it's about the physical space, and then the values, I guess, that we bring into our own lives, and that we make sure that we remember to practice. I so love that, Ren. I really do.
I'm happy.
I'm like giddy. I'm like excited.
And also,
yeah,
I guess the reason why I have so much passion in sharing this is because I experienced what it was like not to have a home that was working for me. Because I was very busy as a student leader, as a young professional, as a regional director of an organization. I was always busy, and my time at home was very, very limited. And sometimes growing up, I remember my parents were asking me, "You're like a boarder in our house," because I go in and out, sleep, work. And I guess I took my home for granted because there was always someone helping us fix our home. But in some way, I also realized that if I don't give time for my home, then I also won't have that time to recharge and to be able to also replenish for the next days. And so what now I'd like to share with all of the viewers is, even if you have a very busy time, I hope that you still get to enjoy your home. I still hope that you get to have your own power spot. That's what we call it in the Konmari world, that you need to have a power spot in your home. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. What's important is that you know that when you're in that space, you get inspired, you get to think of creative things, you get to be really just happy. And so if you don't have a power spot now, you can try it out. Just get a space where you put in all of the things that inspire you, all of your hobbies, all of your special items, and that's going to be a good space for you to have when things get to be a little chaotic at home, or there's so many things going on.
Oh, wow. I love that. Power spot. Okay. I need to find my own power spot for myself. I need to decide which is that. Well, this is actually good, because my next question for you was, what were the 3 things you would advise people on how they could apply the Konmari method in their own homes, especially the ones who are working from home? So 1 is a power spot.
Yeah.
So what would the other 2 be? Could you share something with us?
Will be think of their ideal lifestyle. Think of your ideal home. And the more specific here you are, the better. So if you're someone who likes to draw, maybe you can draw your ideal home. If you're better with words, maybe you can describe it in a paragraph. Or if you like seeing something visual, you can get pegs maybe from Pinterest, put it similarly all together in one page like a vision board. But the most important thing for you to know is think in specifics when it comes to what do you want to experience in your home. Because think about it. We grow up, we study so long for so many years to build our career, but in our homes where we spend most of our time, sometimes we just accept what is there. But again, if you're more intentional in asking yourself, what do you want your home to look like? How do you want to make activities or create memories with your loved ones? So be very, very specific for that. And also another practical tip is if you know what you want in your home, even if there's a next big online sale, you won't be tempted to buy it because you'll know that it's not part of your ideal home. And that's also a better way. I guess that's a more mature way also of looking into what you bring into your home. And the third reminder that I have is really to spend your me time, to spend your own time at home. Some do it at the beginning of the day, some do it before they sleep, or you can also have it maybe at the middle of the day. But it's important for you to enjoy your home and just to take notice of the little details that's there. And because if you see all of these details, I guess you also become more aware of how your reaction is to everything that's happening in your home.
Wow, that's cool. I love that. I think for me personally, I'm going to be making sure that I have a look at those three things, because it is one of I think the other thing that's so important is really to have that honest conversation with yourself.
Yes.
In terms of really making sure that the things that we have, or the things that we do, we're being honest and making sure that it's actually allowing us to live our purpose. Is this actually allowing us to be the best that we can be? Is this allowing us to be, the best mom, homemaker, virtual assistant, virtual worker? It's really those honest conversations with ourselves, because it's through that honesty and open communication that we can really see growth, right? That will show us to transform to another level. So absolutely love that. And I know for sure I always love talking to you, and it's something that I could do the whole afternoon. And I look forward to the day that we're able to actually be physically in one space, so that we can chat for more the whole afternoon. Before you go, did you have anything that you'd like to share or promote with our viewers?
Oh, I'd like to invite everybody. So this year I'm going to have my first ever tidying workshop. So it's going to be next Saturday on February 13. That's from 1 to 4 p.m. Manila time. I'm doing it via Zoom. So if you've been worried about how can you finally start, if you're overwhelmed, or if you've always told yourself that you want to tidy up but just never found the time, I hope you can join us on February 13th from 1 to 4 p.m. So this is going to be a great chance for you to also have an accountability partner. So all of your classmates will be working together as one group, because that's what I realize it's important. Sometimes you know that you want to tidy up, but there's so much value when there's an accountability partner. So for me as a Konmari consultant, and for other people, just really cheering you on, because I sincerely believe that no one wants to have a cluttered home. And sometimes if your home is already cluttered, you don't really know how you got there sometimes. And so just having that push, just having that reminder that it's okay where you are now. Once you're ready and you want to start your Spark Joy journey, then the time is now. So I hope, and I'd like to invite everyone, if they want to join, just send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at World of Yorokobi. And you can also visit my website at worldofyorokobi.com. So it's just 2,800 pesos, and the early bird is until Sunday. That it's just 2,300 pesos as well. I hope that you all join and you give yourself this gift, this Valentine's gift for yourself.
Yes,
start your journey of sparking joy, and of tidying up.
Oh, I
Hope to
love
see you.
it. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. What we'll do is we'll also share that on our page too, so
Thank
that for
you.
anybody who's watching, we could hopefully you'll be able to spark some joy in their life.
Yes.
I completely forgot because I got so engrossed in our conversation. I didn't get to say hello to our viewers. So, obviously to my number one fans, my mum and my dad are always watching.
Hello.
And Manel and Christine. Oh my God, Christine wanted to help you with the game. She said some viewers' answers. Oh my God! If I had seen it, I would have done a shout out to you, Christine. And of course, Marfe and Martine and
Hello.
Dr. Wella. Hello for watching, and
Hello
also
to
to
our
Anna.
family.
Yeah, and Anna's also one of the amazing women who said yes to her well-being, so that was great. And my cousin who's in South Korea.
Yay.
Yeah, maybe you could go to South Korea too. So
Wow, I love that.
She said Australia today, the world tomorrow. So there you
Oh,
go.
thank
See,
you.
even my cousin is claiming it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
And thank you also, Nico, of course, for supporting, and the team Kaya and team EVS. They're always watching, and I'm sure they're picking up a lot of these tips that you've shared, because we all work from home. That's me too. And so, being able to learn these important aspects and little things that we can tweak that, just to make little changes that will be so effective. So, thank you so very much, Ren, for making the time and sharing with us, about what you do as a Konmari consultant, because, there's a lot of people who will be like, oh yeah, Konmari, and they see it on Netflix, and, but they don't know what it is really, what it's all about. So thank you so much for sharing with us how it is to be a consultant. And, I'm so happy that you were our first Harmony at Home guest. I'm sure that I'll see you on our Sacred Space group chat.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, exactly, permanently. And then one day we'll be physically together in your glass house in Batanes. Is it Batanes?
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for today.
Of course. Thank you. And bye, Ren. Wow. Okay. So I hope you're all inspired to declutter and tidy up your home. My goodness, Ren gave us some wonderful ideas, inspirations for how tidying things up and decluttering will not only improve the physical state of our homes, but also in our own minds. And, it'll pave a way for harmonious relationships with the people around us at home, as well as creating a more comfortable and driven and focused working from home environment. So I hope, you've all enjoyed today's first episode of Harmony at Home. Thank you for joining us today. Maraming salamat to all of our viewers on Facebook as well as on Kumu. And I hope you're able to join us again next time for a smart and harmonious episode here on Harmony at Home. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.